Do you know your bullseye from your blockbusters? Would you win the jackpot? Or just your bus fare home? It is time to put your game show knowledge to the test with the Trivia 12. Hello and welcome to the Trivia 12. It might only be our second episode, but already we have a fresh new look. Well, I guess that is how fast technology moves these days. We also have a brand new host, and that is me. Hello, my name is Brittany, and I look forward to putting your knowledge to the test today and in future episodes. We have a themed episode for you as from Gladiators to give us a clue. I am going to put your knowledge of UK game shows to the test. The format is the same. We have 12 tricky questions with the answers coming at the end of each half, so grab a pen and paper and play along. We will also have our mystery interlude feature and our ratings at the end of the show. So let's get on with the quiz. Following our first episode, you told us you want more time in between each question. So somewhat appropriately, the countdown clock will appear so you can write your answers down. And if you need more time, you can always pause the video. Countdown is the subject of question 1, as I want to know in what year was the very first edition broadcast on Channel 4.
You got nothing to lose now, have you? Stand up, dear. You got nothing to lose. You can't get any wetter. Is it slippery now? Come on, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, oh dear, 1, 0. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I know I'm a horrible man.
That was a tricky and very wet physical challenge in the Aztec zone in the adventure game show The Crystal Maze. Richard O'Brien was the maze master, but for question number 2, can you tell me who took over from him as host? For question number 3, it is time for 5 in 15. This is where I am going to show you 5 famous faces in just 15 seconds. So don't blink, as each will only be on screen for 3 seconds. All you have to do is tell me which game show have they all hosted. That was the theme from the iconic game show Bullseye, which mixed darts with questions. Later Big Break did the same thing with snooker, but for question number 4, can you tell me which short-lived game show from 1996 that was presented by Jimmy Tarbuck tried to do the same with golf?
That should bring Alex back online. And of course, with the sea so close to the runway, there's not much margin for error on the Hong Kong approach. And now he's gone a bit above the glide slope, and the horizontal bar on the flight director dropped, so he should follow it, pushing forward on the control column. And he's now begun to descend too fast. And the alarms sound on the flight deck. That's a crash.
That was a clip from the response round from the Krypton Factor, which presenter Gordon Burns always described as TV's toughest quiz. So it is only right, we have a very tough question for you for question number 5. Who joined Gordon Burns as co-presenter in his last series in 1995?
Paul Daniels.
Did Paul Daniels change his name?
Paul Daniels' real name is Newton Edward Daniels. He hosted the first 4 primetime series of Wipeout, which we saw a clip of there. For question 6, who took over as host when it became a daytime series in 1998? It is now time to check on your answers from the first half of our quiz. For question 1, I wanted to know in what year was the first episode of Countdown transmitted on Channel 4. The answer is 1982. It was the very first program transmitted on the channel. It was, however, not the first episode of Countdown, as there was a forerunner called Calendar Countdown, which was only shown in ITV's Yorkshire region earlier in the year. For question 2, we watched a clip of Richard O'Brien, and I asked who took over from him as Mazemaster. Let's find out.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Crystal Maze. I'm Edward Tudor Pole. You can call me Ed.
So the answer to question 2 was Ed Tudor Pole, who presented the show for 2 years, before the original series was dropped. Question number 3 was 5 in 15, and the answer to the game show all 5 had presented is Family Fortunes. Bob Monkhouse was the original presenter, from 1980 to 1983, followed by Max Bygraves, from 1983 to 1985. I was a bit sneaky in not showing you a picture of Les Dennis, who presented the show all the way from 1987 until 2002, and instead showed you Andy Collins, who hosted a daytime version in 2002. Vernon Kay presented an all-star version from 2006 until 2015, and Gino D'Acampo took over as host of the classic show in 2020. Here's a clip of Andy Collins in action in the more obscure daytime edition.
And now, please welcome your host, Andy Collins.
Hello everybody and welcome to the show where we ask 100 people to name a time when you buy presents. And they said 20 past 11.
Question 4 asked, which show hosted by Jimmy Tarbuck tried to combine questions with golf? Did you remember? Let us see if you are right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Jimmy Tarbuck.
What an audience. Thank you very much and welcome to Full Swing, a new game show based on golf. And what do you think of the buggy, hey? The police have stopped me in this. He said, what is this you're driving? I said, hang on, copper. I said, it only goes up to 45. He said, that's not bad. I said, yes, but I live at 74.
The answer was Full Swing. Much less successful than the likes of Bullseye or Big Break, it only ran for 1 series. Question 5 asked who joined Gordon Burns as co-presenter of the Krypton Factor in 1995. Time for another clip to reveal the answer.
Yeah, Yes, this is the Krypton Factor. Television's toughest quiz is back with its greatest ever challenge.
It's called the Super Round, and it's designed to test our contestants to the limits of their physical and mental capabilities.
The spectacular new Krypton Factor 1995 starts here.
Penny Smith was the answer you were looking for. It may have been spectacular, but the new look was far from super, as it proved utterly confusing to viewers, and marked the last series of the Krypton Factor, before being brought back for 2 series from 2009 with Ben Shepherd taking over as host. For question 6 I asked who took over as host when Wipeout became a daytime series. The answer was game show legend Bob Monkhouse. It was the last quiz he would host, but he did so for 5 years. From a joke to a puzzle, our interlude feature could be literally anything. Today it is a clip from the most infamous episode of Family Fortunes. We are in the Max Bygraves era, and despite some funny answers during the show, the Johnson family have made it to the big money game. As we join it, Bob is the second player and needs 69 points to win the jackpot. Rumor has it he may have already heard one of the questions, which may explain his answers here.
Hello, Bob. It's nice to see you sober. And now, you've got 20 seconds on the clock. It will not start until I've asked you the first question. You're in a pretty good position, so if you get it right, you could walk away with a big lot of money. When you hear this, it means that the question has been answered, so we will ask you to do it again, okay? All right. We're starting from now. All ready, all set?
Yes, yeah.
Name something people take with them to the beach.
Turkey.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket.
Turkey.
A food often stuffed.
Turkey.
Any famous snooker player.
Hamilton Higgins.
Let's try again. Any famous snooker player. Your time is out. Yeah. Now, you've got a chance here of making £1,000 and 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Turkey. And I said to you, name something people take with them to the beach. You said... the answer was... the first thing you buy in a supermarket. The answer was... and the survey gave you... a food often stuffed, you said. And that gave you 21!
I hope you are enjoying our quiz so far. If you have any ideas for any themes you would like to see for future quizzes, then do let me know in the comments. Also, there is a clue in each edition of the Trivia 12 to what the theme will be next time. The Crystal Maze featured in the last episode, as indeed it has in our game show episode here, and again there is a clue somewhere to what the next theme will be. Feel free to guess in the comments, but it may be an obscure clue. On with the second half of the quiz and question number 7. Which ITV series hosted by David Hamilton, from 1988 until 1991 saw contestants try to solve puzzles by picking letters from a giant keyboard?
Is Mandy. And she's going to be swinging against the beautiful Jets.
Jets, a sleek, supersonic aerial technician. One ring though. And Jets within striking distance. Mandy one ringed again. And Jet clearly teeing up for the takedown. She's missed once and twice, but I wouldn't count on her missing again. Oh, she's got her. That's it. I'd like you to accompany me to the crash mat. Faultless performance on the rings from Jets. Gladiators keep that clean sheet.
Gladiators has been revived twice now, once on Sky and now again this year on the BBC. Question 8 concerns the original ITV version. Ulrika Johnson hosted alongside John Awuga Fashanu, but which other sportsman took over from John as presenter?
Afternoon.
I don't believe it. For question 9, can you tell me while sitcom legend Victor Meldrew was being killed off on BBC, what game show first was being broadcast at the same time on ITV?
Your host, Nikki Campbell.
She's beautiful, clever, she's witty and wily. You know who it is. It's our Carol Smiley!
Nikki Campbell hosted the first 8 series of Wheel of Fortune. For question 10, can you tell me who took over from him as host in 1997? For question 11, can you name one of the 2 original captains on Give Us a Clue? I will be kind and say you only need to name one of them to get the point, and I will also give you a clue by saying the answer is not Lisa Goddard.
Bruce, this is a gift from all of us.
Oh, that's lovely, that really. What a lovely sparkler. And what a big one. And when he gets to the... Look out! Well, it's nice to still be with you. To still be with you. Nice!
We've reached our final question, but have you had a good game? Good game. That was a jokey introduction to an episode of Bruce's Price is Right. But for question 12, can you tell me who first hosted the program in the UK? It is now time to check your answers from the second half of our quiz. For question 7, I asked, which game show hosted by David Hamilton saw contestants solve puzzles by selecting letters from a giant keyboard? And here is the answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, David Hamilton.
Yes, the word game with the giant keyboard was all clued up. For question 8, I asked which other sportsman took over from John Fashanu as host of Gladiators. The answer is rugby star Jeremy Guscott, although John did return to the show towards the end of its original run. Question 9 asked which game show first was transmitted at the same time sitcom character Victor Meldrew was killed off. Did you remember? Here is the moment.
Final answer.
Yep, final answer.
You've just won £1 million!
Yes, it was Judith Keppel becoming the first person to win £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. 5 other winners and someone who had a friend with a cough followed, but Judith remains the only female winner of the top prize to date. Question 10 asked who replaced Nikki Campbell as host of Wheel of Fortune, so let us reveal the answer.
Wheel of Fortune. With Bradley Walsh and Jenny Powell.
Okay, yes, it's the Wheel of Fortune, a show that's totally different from every other show because other shows are made differently, therefore making this show different from other shows because they're differently made.
The answer was Bradley Walsh. Jenny Powell had already taken over from Carol Smiley as co-host. Bradley was only in charge of the wheel for one series, before handing over to John Leslie and then Paul Hendy. Meanwhile, a new series with Graham Norton at the helm has recently launched, although that is based on the American format. Question 11 asked, who were the original team captains on Give Us a Clue, and the answer is Lionel Blair and Eunice Stubbs. Remember, you only need to name one of these to get the point. Lastly, question 12 asked, who the original host was of The Price is Right, and the answer is Leslie Crowther. One last countdown clock now to give you a chance to add up your score, then it is time for the Trivia 12 ratings, where we find out which game show character you are. If you scored no points, you are the hare from Don't Scare the Hare. Except your score is so bad you have already frightened him away. If you scored between 1 and 3 points, you are Dusty Bin. Sorry, but your score was rubbish. If you scored between 4 and 6 points, you are Bully. A good sport, but with a tendency to rush in. If you scored between 7 and 9 points, you are Bambaboozler, the host of the teletext quiz Bamboozle. Okay, we might be stretching the game show mascot theme a bit thin here, but A, how many game show mascots can you name? B, he was named after University Challenge host Bamba Gascoigne, and C, Bamboozle was one of the inspirations behind the Trivia 12. Well done, you have good game show knowledge. If you scored 10 or 11 points, you are Mr. Babbage the computer from Family Fortunes, and your computer-like knowledge could well earn you a fortune. If you got all 12 right answers, didn't you do well? You are Mr. Chips, and like the mascot from Catchphrase, you are a robot. Well, that is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed putting your knowledge to the test, and reminiscing about some classic game shows along the way. I will see you next time on the Trivia 12, so until then, goodbye.